So, if you're a podcaster, you've probably been told there's really only one way to make money, right? Get a ton of downloads and then land that big sponsor. But what if that advice, the advice everyone gives, is actually what's holding you back? Well, today we're going to dive into a totally different way to think about podcasting and profit. Your show has changed lives, but your bank account tells a different story. Oof. Does that hit close to home? I mean, you pour your heart and soul into your show. You get these incredible messages from listeners, and you know you're making a real impact. But then you look at the numbers, and the financial side of things just doesn't add up. It's super frustrating and honestly a really common story for a lot of creators out there. Well, that feeling, it actually has a name. It's called the sponsor trap, and it's this cycle that leaves so many amazing creators feeling kind of dependent and, frankly, underpaid. So today, we're going to break it all down, and we're not just going to identify the trap. We're going to show you the way out. All right, so let's get into the podcaster's dilemma. Why do so many of us fall for this? Well, honestly, the sponsorship model just seems like the only path to success. It's what everyone talks about. But this path, it creates a real problem, forcing you to choose between what looks like success on the outside and what actually, sustains your work. And it comes with some serious hidden costs that can chip away at the very reason you started your show in the first place. And here they are, the hidden costs. And believe me, they are all connected. It's kind of like a domino effect. Think about it. When a sponsor pays you, what they're really doing is renting your audience's attention. Your community, your listeners, they basically become a commodity. And that means your income suddenly depends on getting a thumbs up from some outside brand. This totally cramps your creative style, right? You start making content that's advertiser-friendly instead of what's true to you. And the worst part, you might end up running ads that just feel wrong, and you risk pushing away the very people who supported you from day one. Okay, let's break this trap. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some, philosophical problem. No, this creates a real, tangible, and super stressful cycle. It's a cycle that makes building a stable business feel, well, pretty much impossible. Let's dig into what that actually looks like. And here it is, the dependency cycle. It's a hamster wheel, really. So, step 1, you do it. You land a sponsor. Awesome! But that celebration is short-lived because bam, step 2 hits, performance pressure. You've got to keep those download numbers up, or else. And then before you know it, the contract is ending and you're right back at it, hunting for the next sponsor. This is what creates that constant income uncertainty. How can you plan for the future when you're living month to month like this? And if that frustrating cycle wasn't bad enough, the fundamental math behind sponsorships is, well, it's pretty much broken for most of us. The numbers make this cycle almost impossible to win. And honestly, this part can be a real gut punch. So the magic number everyone talks about is CPM. That stands for cost per mil, which is just a fancy way of saying what advertisers will pay you for every 1,000 downloads. And what is that number? Typically, you're looking at just $15 to $25. Yeah, that's it. So even if you're getting a few thousand downloads per episode, which is awesome, the actual payout is, well, it's pretty tiny. So to make a meaningful income from that tiny CPM rate, how many downloads do you need? About 50,000 per episode. Let that sink in. For the vast majority of podcasts out there, that number is it's out of reach. This whole model is really only built to work for a tiny, tiny fraction of the top shows in the world. So is there another way? Absolutely. And this chart kind of says it all. Look at the bar for sponsorship income. It's got a pretty low ceiling, right? Now look at the bar for digital product sales. It's so much higher. I mean, think about it. You could earn way more money by selling, say, a $20 ebook to just a small fraction of your audience than you could from a sponsor. The key difference here, the word that changes everything, is ownership. And that brings us to the big solution here. It's a complete shift in how you think about your show. It's what we call the influence-first mindset. It's all about stopping the endless chase for more downloads and instead focusing on cultivating the incredible influence you already have with your listeners. And here's the definition. This is so important. Influence-first thinking is all about treating your audience as a community to serve directly, not as a commodity to rent out to advertisers. That one shift, it changes everything. You stop asking, what kind of content will a sponsor like? And you start asking, what does my community really need from me? How can I help them? This comparison really makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? When you're sponsor first, you're constantly focused on things like maximizing downloads, making advertiser-friendly content, and hoping for that monthly renewal. It's all about external validation. But when you're influence first, your focus is totally different. It's on the depth of your relationships with your audience, solving their real problems, and, most importantly, owning your own business assets. It's the difference between building on rented land versus building on land you actually own. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But you're probably wondering, how does this actually work in practice? Well, this is way more than just a mindset. It's a new monetization system. It's a tangible framework with actual tools that help you build a real business around your podcast. And the engine powering this whole thing is a strategic framework called the Influence Matrix. Now, we're not going to get into all the nitty-gritty details right now, but what you need to know is that it's basically a framework that shows you how to turn the trust you've built with your listeners into sustainable, reliable revenue. You can think of it like a map for this whole journey. And once you're in this system, a whole new world of possibilities just opens right up. Look at this list of 9 revenue streams that you own. You've got things like scalable courses and membership communities. You can do books and publishing, live events, even corporate training. And there are also smart partnerships like joint ventures and affiliate deals. I mean, the point is, you suddenly go from having one fragile source of income to a whole menu of options that you are in complete control of. Okay, so let's start wrapping this up by talking about building your profit engine. Because the key takeaway here, the big idea, is that this is about building an engine, not just finding a sponsor. It's about taking back control and creating a business that's resilient, that's authentic to you, and that truly, deeply serves your audience. Now, before you get totally overwhelmed by all those options, here is a really crucial piece of advice. Mastery in one stream compounds faster than mediocrity in 9. Focus is your greatest asset. So please don't try to do everything at once. Just pick one of those streams, one that really aligns with your skills and what your audience needs, and go all in. Master it. Because that one win will give you the foundation to build everything else later. Focus is absolutely key. So we'll end with this question, and it's a big one. Your podcast already has influence. You've done the hard work of building that trust and that community with your content. The only question left is, are you ready to own it? Are you ready to stop renting out that influence and finally, truly own it yourself?